Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to another episode of the Talk That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes. And I know there was about a 2-week period where you did not have the Talk That Talk Show. I definitely had to take some time to mentally recharge. And that's something that I always tell my viewers out there and everybody listening, that you got to make sure that your mental is completely 100% strong so that you can be the best version of yourself. So, that's what I took these past 2 weeks. I really focused on my bowling, also focused on trying to be better in my job. And, I know that I did neglect the show for a little bit, but I'm just really glad to be back here and to deliver you guys a weekly show that everybody can be proud to say that they listen into, right? So definitely want to shout out to Zishan Abbas, my boy John Zapata, who's on the Facebook live stream. And, I definitely have a little bit of my friends here today. I had a great day right after work. Went over to Jose Tejas. If you don't know about Jose Tejas, I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite spots here in Edison or Woodbridge or whatever you want to call it. But, I definitely love that place. We got some margaritas, so we had a good time and, just really enjoyed our Friday. So I definitely want to thank everybody out there tuned in for, spending your Friday here with me. Got a great show lined up for us today. Got some topics that I'm sure that you're going to want to hear about. There's a lot that we got to talk about, especially that my Kansas City Chiefs are AFC champions. So we're definitely going to have to talk about that. But I have a special guest who is someone very, near and dear and true to my heart. Somebody that I came in with at this job and, has become one of my really good friends. So she's going to come on this show in a little bit and we're going to talk. But I definitely want to thank our sponsors out there, VW Liquors, located in Wick Plaza, Edison, New Jersey. Definitely want to also shout out Executive Bar and Restaurant, located in Carteret, New Jersey, the place that I bartend at. And then also we want to give a shout out to Cody Bromley at 91s.com. And, one of the things that I always have been, really something that's really been on my mind has just been the fact that, you really got to just stay true to yourself and trust the decisions that you think need to be made. I had a situation where, just this past episode, on episode 39, I had Jason Pintus on the show. I definitely want to thank him for, being on the show. But, we didn't advertise that episode. And it was because of the fact that, there was a lot of things that happened at the bowling alley that, we just weren't, as a team, as the Talk That Talk show, we just didn't feel like we got a fair opportunity out there. And when you feel like, there isn't any transparency in the same way that was voiced on this show, it just really makes you wonder and question the integrity of people. And in a league where, you spend so much money every single week, to try and stress relief, you want to make sure that you're getting the fairest opportunity possible without any of that dirty money lingering feeling, right? And, there was just too many questionable things that flew by. There was an opportunity at potentially a first place in a singles league that was in question. And, that was the difference of quite a few $100s. So, me and my team, we went to a different league. And that caused a lot of different things. A lot of people coming at me saying that, we should be ashamed of what we did. And, having so much as the same guy that was on my show make his team walk that walk show. And it just really made me open my eyes to the fact of, just how much you have to stay true to yourself and stay true to the people around you that help you to be the best version of yourself. So, having said that, we've went into this new league here at Majestic, which has opened us up with, wide open arms. And we go out there and we sweep a team just this past, just last night. So we've had success and, sometimes you're going to make decisions that might necessarily make people happy. But you just have to put yourself and solely yourself as, prime priority first. And when you're able to do that, you're going to give yourself the best opportunity at whatever you want in life. So, I'm just really happy to move forward into the second half of the season with my bowling team, the Talk That Talk show. and we're just ready to go out there and kick butt, man. So everybody out there tuned in, stay true to yourself and trust the decisions that you have made, right? And no matter what anybody says, right? And having said that, I really like to, welcome this person on the show because since I've been, in Playworks, which I know is my nonprofit that I work for, this girl has always been somebody. My fault. This woman has always been somebody that has never been afraid to speak her mind and has trusted the decisions that she has made. And, I really am somebody that's really grateful to call her my friend. So when I came through to have the 40th episode of the Talk That Talk show, I had no other person who I thought to have on the show and somebody that I don't think that you want to guard on the court. I'm really excited to bring her here on the show. She came out with me to Jose Tejas. Love this woman. Please give it up for Naya Santiago.
Yo.
Nye Beats.
What's good, my boy? What's good?
Yeah, so you are here. So yeah, how you feeling today? I know we had some of those margaritas. So do you like that place, Jose Tejas?
I told you put me on. It was over. Over.
Yo, once you have it once, it's kind of hard not to come back, right?
Cracking the quesadilla, bro.
But I definitely want to talk a little bit about just who you are, Naya. So for the people out there, I know you, but kind of tell the people out there, who is Naya Santiago?
I'm an ex-baller turned youth development head, but first and foremost, always a basketball player. Mm-hmm. Always a sports head. Always just trying to be great.
Yeah.
All the time.
That motivation is definitely something that has definitely kept me around and, had that respect for you as well. And one of the things that you earned the respect from me early on was just what you were able to do on the basketball court. So, where did you go to college again?
All right, so first I started out at the the Fairfield University out in Connecticut. Didn't really like it there. Mm-hmm. Took off, went to a junior college, had a good time there. Graduated, then went off to the University of Texas El Paso, and the rest is history, bro.
Oh man! And just to say that you played a Division I sport, that was something that a lot of people dream of. So what did that mean to you to actually be a Division I athlete?
I mean, honestly, it meant there were so many people that were like, "Y'all shall never go D1. She's too short.
What?
She can't shoot. She's not fast enough." But I mean, it meant the world because it was like, yo, I can do whatever I tell myself I want to do. So it was cool, man. It's great.
Yeah, and I know for me, somebody that played a sport, I played Division III. I didn't play much, but I can say that I was Division III athlete, and I know that just going out on the court and be able to compete. It was just something that I really loved, and I think that's what's also translated for me to being able to love the sport of bowling. So, I guess for me, now that you haven't, played college basketball anymore, how have you been able to translate, that competitive energy of where you, stored that or where are you bringing that to?
I mean, I think it gives me the opportunity to kind of share the competitive energy, but also share how much work it actually takes to get there. Mm-hmm. I got a lot of kids that I work with who are like, oh, I'm going to the NBA. And I'm like, are you? You're 5'2". Right? And then you have a lot of kids who, don't necessarily think school is super important, at least being an athlete. Mm-hmm. Right? Like if your goal is to go to college and your goal is to play at the highest level, you're not just a basketball player. You're not just a football player. You're not just a sports athlete. You're a student first, right? So in order to get that check signed over for you, you gotta put in the work in the classroom. So it's a lot.
Yeah, and that comes from me personally. I know firsthand that what it takes to be in the classroom because I played for 2 years and then what happened to me was I was academically ineligible because I didn't prioritize the right things. I prioritized partying a little bit too much, not studying. And part of the reason why I go out each and every day, in our nonprofit that we work for, is just to try and make sure that, I can be that positive example for some of those kids out there and to help them not make the same mistakes that I did. So, has there been anyone, that you've worked with that kind of just really touched you in a way that, really motivated you to just be even better? Like anybody in particular?
I mean, for me, it was just really like a lot of the people I had around in my life, like coaches. You know, I had the opportunity to work with some great coaches. I even had the opportunity to play with some great players. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, people look to coaches to motivate you, but a lot of times the people you're alongside really kind of motivate you and kind of make you want to be a bit better. So shout out to all my former teammates, former opponents. You know what it is.
You know the vibes, right? But I guess from, you know, that competitive aspect too, there's some of those people that I do see on the bowling lanes that have kind of become those competitive rivals. So like, you know, when you've played basketball, has there been any, like, who would you say is like your toughest person that you had to guard, or like someone that you went to battle every single time with?
Yo, interestingly enough, it is a Edison product.
Really?
J.P. Stevens, Tania Kennedy.
Really? Okay,
used to give me
Kennedy.
the business. Like,
oh,
she
man.
was so much faster than I was, you know, and she was older than I was too. So I came in as a sophomore, she was a senior, but we had actually been working out prior to that. So she used to come down to where we used to work out. Man, I hated it. I hated every minute of it. Hated it.
But I bet that made you want to go in the gym and work a little bit harder, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, we was around the same height, so she went D1 first, so I was like, oh, all right, cool. I got that, too. So, you know, she went right up to St. Peter's. You know, it was nice to see somebody from, I guess, you know, Middlesex County.
And I think that you say too, like, as far as a tough guard, you know, for you as a J.P. Stevens product, and I kind of think about myself, like when I was in high school, and like who was kind of like a tough person to defend, and I would have to go with another J.P. person as well. This guy Kenny Bland, I remember KJ Bland. He was somebody that could shoot, almost like a Kevin Garnett type player, and he was tough to guard for me. And I remember working out with him at the gym at the shooting academy at the time. And I felt like, you know, it was people like that that kind of pushed you in that almost that rivalry to try and, you know, excel your game. And I just really enjoyed, you know, that competitive aspect. And, you know, there are definitely times that I miss it. And, you know, do you find that for yourself too, that, you know, you look back a lot often on those times and miss those a lot?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of times you kind of look back and you're like, man, I wish I could get out there and play a full game, or I wish I could even get on the bus.
Yeah.
Right, like hop on the bus and ride.
Oh, those bus rides used to be fun, you know? Like,
you know, those are great times, right? You know, and even high school basketball and college basketball are two different things. You think there's a lot of pressure in high school, but the reality comes, you know, high school is probably the best 4 years of your life. As far as being an athlete, you have the opportunity to kind of grow, find yourself, figure out who you are as a player, but also figure out who you are as, you know, a young adult. So, you know, it gives you the opportunity to kind of grow and meet different people and stuff. So.
Oh, for sure. And, like, I feel like it's very important for a lot of people to get that experience of playing a sport and being a part of a team and knowing what it feels like to be competitive. It's, you know, those personal and life skills that help you as far as getting jobs and trying to be a successful person. And, you know, I feel like there's a lot of lessons that come from the game that you can just take in everyday situations. And I feel like the respect of, you know, the opponent and respect of trying to be in the same plane and trying to achieve the same goal, it kind of helps you to then, later on in life, you know, have respect for the next person next to you and, you know, trying to be better and help the next person. So, you know, I think sports are very important, and I know somebody that has been a leader for the Giants, that of your Giants actually,
yes,
that has been a leader for the team for a long time, and I know we definitely got to give a little shout out here to Eli Manning.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
What would you say Eli Manning means to you as a New York Giants fan?
I mean, he means a bit of stability, right? Like, we've had, you know, a bunch of wide receivers come and go, but like to have him kind of carry the team for as long as he did, and I mean, got us some rings, right? Like, he did his thing, and I mean, just to say and be completely clear, he was definitely the Patriot Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, in the era where Tom Brady has owned it, he beat Tom twice
when it counted, right?
Yes,
you know, so you know, he's definitely been a bit of stability for us, and you know, it was great to kind of watch him. You know, I got to see him live a few times, so it was nice.
Now, a lot of people are questioning whether he's a shoe-in Hall of Famer. I got to ask Naya Santiago, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
He's a Hall of Famer. Shoe-in? Eek. But I definitely think with, you know, the right timing, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, he did a lot for the Giants, right? Held them down for a long time, right? Even when, obviously when, our rookie wasn't kind of producing, they put him back in there, and he came out and did his thing.
Yeah.
So he's, like I said, a little bit of stability for us, but I definitely think he's going to the Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah,
Give that man a jacket.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Please give that man a jacket. And I was actually going to agree with you in the fact that, Eli Manning has done so much for that organization. And you look at as far as somebody else in Phillip Rivers, who some people do view as a shoe-in Hall of Famer, and that guy doesn't have a Hall of Fame ring, and he's also found his way out of the Los Angeles Chargers, So when you look at the way Eli Manning exited and in the dramatic fashion that he did in winning that game that was meaningless for a lot of Giants fans or even just for their positioning, but that was just his way of sending off in a way of showing also appreciation to the fans as well. And just the way that he went off, not a lot of people get to do, to be on one team for your entire career, So I think that, to agree with you, I definitely think that Eli Manning is a shoe-in Hall of Famer. But another thing that I definitely want to talk to you about, too, is we always have conversations about the WNBA. Where do you have, first of all, Maya Moore in your top 5 as far as these WNBA players?
Top 5 WNBA players of all time, I'm definitely giving her top 3.
Okay.
I'll go top 3 all time. I got a couple of my favorite point guards in there, so. But she's
Diana
definitely
Taurasi in there.
Diana Taurasi's top 4.
Okay.
She's definitely number 4.
Okay.
But to watch, some of the great players. I mean, Dawn Staley's gonna be number 1 for me all the time.
Yeah.
She's my all-time favorite player. But then you got Sue Bird, bro,
so
unstoppable,
smooth,
right?
So
Unstoppable.
smooth.
You got players like Becky Hammond, you got to give super respect to. Lisa Leslie, right?
Yes.
Candace Parker, she's obviously top 5. So, you know what I'm saying? For her to even be in that company, but she's definitely top 3, though, because her athleticism, speed.
Teresa Witherspoon, too.
Right? When you think about it, I used to have her sneakers.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That was back before, when my dad was buying my sneakers and stuff. I bought my brother some Jordans, got me some Teresa Witherspoons.
Now, I know we always talk about the sneakers and everything and how you retired sneakerhead. What was one of your favorite sneakers that you caught back in the day?
Ooh. I had some Grape 11s. They were like...
Ooh, Grape 11s.
They were like... they had the purple bottoms, but the top was like black suede.
Damn.
Love those things.
Yeah, I
loved them.
I think
I
the
got
sneakers.
Them I got them on sale too at the mall because I was in El Paso.
You got them in El Paso too?
Yeah, man. We was standing in line back when that was like a thing. It was cool.
I have a lot of our friends that we were calling them sneakerheads or hype beasts. So, I actually was somebody that I wasn't really too prime on that. I always used to get made fun of because of my Team Jordans, right? I didn't have the number Jordans. Jeez. I think the first pair of number Jordans I ever had was the Aqua 8s. The Aqua 8s. I love those sneakers too. But
I've been trying not to pass judgment these days.
You say not they weren't up to your standard, right?
It's an alright shoe, man. It's an alright shoe.
But I know, we're talking about the kicks and everything, but I definitely wanted to ask you because I don't know how much or how many people out there watch the show, but if you watch the show Power, I tell you what, it's one of my favorite shows. I can't lie. I'll never forget it. I was upstairs in my room playing Xbox, and my boy Jeff, who's actually here watching live, gotta give a shout out to him. But he's like, "Yo, Barry, you gotta watch this show Power, man." And I'm always like the social nonconformist. I always try to say, I'm like, everybody's watching this show. I don't want to watch it. But he's like, nah, B, seriously, you gotta watch this show. And I think it was around like the time where like Ghost got to prison or something like that, and trying to get his way out. And it was, I just was so intrigued, man. Like I started binge watching it. And it's become one of my favorite shows. I can't believe there's only 2 episodes left. So I got to ask you, and everybody, who doesn't watch Power, their leading episodes have been to see who shot Ghost, right? So I got to ask Nye Beans, with 2 episodes left, who do you think shot Ghost? I got to hear this.
Cover your ears.
Cover your
ears.
Tell me
who shot Ghost.
All right, let them know who shot.
Spoiler alert.
Let them know who shot Ghost.
Spoiler alert. It was Tariq.
Oh, you think Tariq did it? Oh, man.
It was Tariq.
Why? Man. I kind of goes... for a while, I thought Ramona was going to do it. I really did think Tommy could have potentially did it, but for everybody out there that didn't see, that Tommy episode was...
that Tommy episode was fire. It was a good one.
Yeah.
Made me want to watch some more.
Yeah,
but I heard that Tommy's about to get his own spinoff.
That would be pretty tough. Can you imagine watching a Tommy out in the West Coast, right after he smoked Spanky? You know what I'm saying? They got to put that clip in the first of the episode.
Got to.
But I know that we just talked about a lot, man, but I can't have this be the 40th episode and, talk about my Chiefs being in the Super Bowl. I mean, whew. It's an amazing feeling. And before I do talk about that, I definitely want to ask you, because I'm so happy. I didn't have the experience of seeing my team make it to the Super Bowl. So I want to see for you, what made you want to be a Giants fan? What was it that said, hey, I want to be a Giants fan? So
I got two choices at my house. Either you're a Knicks fan or you're a Giants fan or you're a Yankees fan. So yes, that's all I had. There's no options. You're a Giants fan.
Take
you're
this
a Yankees
jersey.
Fan,
this
and
is
you're a
your
Knicks
team.
fan. Sit down, shut up, and let's watch sports.
Oh,
right. So
man.
but I mean, even over the years, just kind of it being the hometown team, kind of liked them a little bit.
Yeah.
But once I really started getting into sports other than basketball, that's kind of where it's kind of kicked off a little bit. Because I'm like, oh, they're better than the Jets. So,
got a little bit of things to hang your hat on, right?
I'm always for the hometown teams. So.
Yeah, but I guess for me, it's very similar. I had my dad who was a big Chiefs fan and always had us watching Priest Holmes and Dante Hall, the X-Man, returning kicks, and Larry Johnson after he graduated from Penn State and came to the Chiefs. And, I've experienced, I feel like, the heartbreak. I've experienced Andrew Luck fumbling the ball on the goal line, picking it up and scoring it. I've watched Marcus Mariota throw a pass to himself and score it. All right? I've seen the Pittsburgh Steelers come into Kansas City and beat us, only scoring less than 20 points. Jeez. Right? I don't even think they scored a touchdown that game or whatever. But it was, how could I say? It's been a tough road being a Chiefs fan. And watching all your favorite friends, have their teams in the Super Bowl. I mean, my brother gets to go in the Super Bowl every other year as a Patriots fan, right? So, for me, it's been a long road, and I really like our chances here going into the Super Bowl. So I got to ask you, who's your Super Bowl pick? Do you got the 49ers or you got the Chiefs?
Honestly. Honestly, I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs.
Okay.
Right, the 49ers have a great defense, but their problem is their offense. So if you can't outscore Patrick Mahomes, you're going to have a long day ahead of you, right? And I think that's the challenge that the Titans, they just ran into, right? You got a decent defense, but once Patrick Mahomes gets rolling, that's a tough train to stop. So he does an awesome job getting them going. Yeah, and he's fun to watch.
He is very fun to watch. I mean, when you got the no-look passes, you got him throwing bombs. I mean, he's running through 3 or 4 people at the goal line just to score. So, I think that we definitely have an edge in having the true MVP in Patrick Mahomes. But one thing that I saw... No, he's the true MVP. I mean, Lamar Jackson... He's the regular season MVP.
All right.
He's the regular season MVP. But when the chips were on the line and you needed somebody to go out there and get a first down, or when you were down 21 points, who did you get? Lamar Jackson or Patty Mahomes? It was Patty Mahomes. But what I will say is this. The 49ers they've not trailed in the postseason. And when you've seen the Chiefs have done, they've been trailed in the postseason and they came back. So I think the big thing is if the Chiefs can jump out ahead against the 49ers, if they can make Jimmy Garoppolo throw the ball more than 10 times. I mean, it's crazy how the 49ers didn't even have to let Jimmy G throw the ball more than 10 times to beat the Green Bay Packers, right? Mm-hmm. So I think if the Chiefs can really jump out ahead, I think we got a real good chance to win.
Garoppolo has 6 passes going into the second half.
What?
Bro, like 6. 6. Not like, most players 20, 30. Bro, my man 6.
Yeah.
He threw the ball 6 times.
And won a game. That's
handedly won a game.
I mean, what were the passes? Screen dump down passes?
Barely, right? Barely any yardage. But it was crazy to watch. But I don't think that they're able to do that
against the Chiefs.
I don't see it happening.
But the one thing that does worry me is the fact that offense of the 49ers can be electric. I mean, if you can, the offensive line has literally punished their opponents. And if you're able to just run down opponents' throats, it's difficult. And the Chiefs, when they have lost this season, have struggled against stopping the run. Mm-hmm. So, I'm a little bit worried. But like I said, if you can jump out ahead of the team, then you're able to eliminate that run game. Because nobody's going to want to run the football if you're down 14 points against Patrick Mahomes,
Definitely. So I think that'll be super important for the Chiefs because you want to get that ball and get going.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to kind of wait to the second half to try to, get into a rhythm. I think one thing that they did against the Titans, they started kind of slow, and then kind of had to build up. And then it was just like, oh, they're here. Yep. Welcome to the party. So I think they want to come in kind of, ready to go and start early. That way they put that second defense, number 2 defense, put them to the test.
And that's what I think also is a huge thing for the Chiefs here is the fact that thank you to the management for getting rid of Bob Sutton. Because that defense was awful for years, And for them to take a guy in Steve Spagnuolo who did struggle with, building this team and their defense at the start, but they've picked up as the season has progressed. And, I mean, for them to hold Derrick Henry to under 100 rushing yards and then to actually win the AFC Championship based off of that defense's performance, I really like this Chiefs team, and it's been a real fun year to watch. And then when you think about it offensively, I mean, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Sammy Watkins, Markel Hardman, who runs the ball incredibly. Then you got Damian Williams, who's given the Chiefs life from running back position. So, I mean, this team is fun to watch.
Nah, you guys got a good team this year, and it was actually kind of a perfect storm, right? You guys have had parts, had pieces, but it's kind of finally coming together, and I think they're really getting hot.
Yes.
Like when it counts, when it matters. So I think they're gonna be all right this year. So what? So what?
That's right?
We at the house.
and
on the couch.
And I think the cool thing about it too, that you say, is about getting hot, right? And the Chiefs are hot at the right time. And I think that's a great segue to kind of transition as far as something that I look forward to the most around this time, and that's March Madness, right?
Sir.
Is there any college basketball teams that you see right now, men's or women, that you feel is like they're shoo-ins to get this national championship?
Honestly, what I've been watching lately as far as like college basketball, especially with the men's, I don't see any consistent teams, right? We've got these teams that are good. We've got teams that are supposed to be good and aren't good. Mm-hmm. We've got teams that are supposed to be great but are like falling middle of the road. So it's kind of interesting to see, how many times the number 1 spot has changed since the beginning of the season. I mean, I think we start out Duke number 1 and they lost like to some bums. Mm-hmm. So, it's actually really nice to see that, there's no team absolutely dominating everybody, even with women's basketball, that number 1 spot has been jumping around a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
Connecticut was number 1 for a little bit, then Baylor just knocked them off.
Yeah.
Right? So it's good to see that, the talent is being a little more spread out. But I don't have a team that I'm just like, yeah, they're going. Yeah. They're going to be in the dance. I don't have a team that's in that spot yet because I think everybody's like super competitive, especially now.
Yeah, and you talk about, super competitive. I know that the one division that's been super competitive has been that Big Ten Conference for the men's basketball. And, one team that I actually have to give a shout out to has been Rutgers.
Yes.
I mean, we're New Jersey residents, so, the fact that we can actually turn on a Rutgers game and it's competitive, it's like very refreshing to watch. Even though they did lose to Iowa, I really like this team's chances as far as trying to make it to the big dance. So, I think we got to check out a Rutgers game sometime soon.
I think they're a good little team. Like, again, they've got parts. Yeah. And a lot of those parts work. They got a pretty decent young core. Yep. And I think they've done a great job recruiting over the past few years. Yeah. They got kids who are sticking around. They don't have a super high transfer rate either. So, they've got kids that kind of want to be there. So it's nice to actually see a Rutgers game and they're not getting blown out.
Right?
By 30, right? And that's either side of the ball. The girls are playing halfway decent too. So, it's nice to see that Rutgers is finally
in it.
Some noise.
Yeah.
No, I can't say finally because back when
Quincy Doobie.
Yeah, but even with the women, you had Mattia Ajavon, Essence Carson.
Yes.
When they had that class, sheesh.
Yeah, I think they were. Was it that Final Four team?
Yeah, we went. What was this? Elite Eight. I think they got to
Elite Eight.
You know, so you see local talent, local kids. You know, a lot of these kids are from around here.
Yeah. So
it's nice to see some locals do their thing.
Because that's one of the things that me and Lou had talked about on his episode was just the fact that we have these New Jersey, guys that just don't want to stay in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And, I think that it's very important that for the Rutgers to be good, yes, they might be ranked this year, but it's important for them to continue to recruit these hometown guys and keep them in state. Because if you can keep, your best guys in state, it's going to give you that sustainability and help you to build that brand of Rutgers basketball to want to have guys that want to stay in New Jersey. I mean, it's the worst feeling when you go on TV and watch these games and you got some of our best guys playing out in Oklahoma or you got them playing up in Minnesota, like Jelly Fam, right? So Isaiah Washington. So you got to get these guys back home and playing in Rutgers so that we can keep winning for longer days,
Yeah, it's all about sustainability. I think, when you go to a school like Rutgers, other people from around the country are like, oh, you're by Rutgers. And I'm like, yeah, we don't really have any sports teams.
Yeah, you don't have something to be happy about.
I mean, and you think with athletes, you want something like a program that they're going to want to come to. Mm-hmm. I think, and that's a challenge in a lot of places, especially if there's a high turnover rate for coaches.
For sure.
If we see a whole bunch of coaches, who's going to want to stick around? Because the challenge is getting kids to kind of stick around and getting kids to want to come somewhere that has a tradition of winning.
For sure.
You think back a couple years, Rutgers did not
have a tradition of winning.
Did not.
To say the least.
Oh, who does Rutgers play so we can go see who they got?
Yeah.
So, it's nice to see that they're kind of building a winning tradition over there. So it's cool to watch.
For sure. And I definitely want to thank you for coming here on the show, Naya. One of the things that I always like to ask some of my guests on the show to try and enlighten some people out there that are viewers. But, what's some advice that maybe you could give your younger self that you wish you could, give you if you had that time to see that person back then?
Go to class.
Go to class.
Go to class.
Everybody out there, go to class.
Immediately, right now, go to class. I mean, that's one thing, but also just kind of enjoying it, right? Taking a step back and actually enjoying what you're in. I think a lot of times we put so much pressure on ourselves to be really good at something, but we never really take into account of, how big that situation is. I think back to like walking to the gym for the first time at UTEP, and I'm like, yo, this is a big ass gym. Mm-hmm. I'm coming from South Plainfield. We could fit 145 people in the gym, right? So, to go and do something like that is like, I look back now and I'm like, dang, I did that. Mm-hmm. So, I think just really living in the moment and, enjoying every bit of what it is you're doing, even the struggles, because they'll come. And then also just get up again, right? Yeah. You talked about, being academically ineligible. That's why I left Fairfield, right? Like, I left Fairfield, ended up at a junior college. Because I couldn't get the grades, but it was also the opportunity for me to kind of take a step back and be like, yo, get your life together, figure it out, let's go, let's get it together. And it opened up the door for a great opportunity. So, again, enjoying it, taking the L's for what they are, and just, making the most of it. So.
And I appreciate that out there, Naya, because I think that's real talk. I mean, we're human beings, so we're definitely we're gonna make mistakes. It's just a matter of what you do, beyond those mistakes and how you're able to flip that and turn it into a positive. Mm-hmm. And I think that you're somebody that is very motivating and somebody that I have, how could I say, gravitated towards because of your energy. And I feel like No, I'm serious. I think that, energy is something that's very underrated. And when you have people that are like-minded and have that same energy, it's just so easy to be productive with that person, man, and to have fun with. So I just thank you for coming here on this show, Naya. You know the respect that I have for you, and we're definitely going to have you on the show again soon. So we want to thank our viewers out there. Thank you, Gary James, Peter Dunn, Marquise Bethel, my dad who's watching. Yeah, Marquise, we got to go to...
Mr. Holmes.
Yes, David Lee, Frank Cortez, Mike Robinette, Savion Gaynor, Sherrod Shuford, Vic James, James Chang, Dr. Glex, who had his own episode, Bill the Thrill Stall, Jennifer Newman, Andrew Lynch, Laszlo, Adiola, Anthony Kodos, Ethan Bayer, Chris Shank Jr., Antoine Jefferson. Wow, the Facebook live stream was booming today. We even got Jeffrey Farrell live in the flesh out there. Look at him. Yeah, we got Aisha Simone here. We got your sister
Niari.
You saved me because I definitely forgot. I'm sorry, Niari. I'm not going to forget. I promise you. But I want to thank everybody out there who, came to support, live, whether you watched on the Facebook live stream, whether you're here in my house, whether you're listening through your speakers. Thank you so much, because this is something that means a lot to me. Whether somebody tries to desecrate the name and say the Walk That Walk show, how terrible, how putrid, right? Boo. So boo that dude, right? He sucks. He sucks, man. But, the Talk That Talk show is something that means so much to me, right? And I just feel like, just from where I've started to now say that I have 40 episodes in the bag, say that I have people like Naya Santiago, who's like my really good friend, to come on the show and to have new viewers every single week. I just feel like I have the best job in the world. I just get to come up here, have some fun, talk to my friends, and, make a show that you guys all like. So definitely want to thank our sponsors at VW Liquors, located in Wick Plaza, Edison, New Jersey. We always do this for Dave at the end of the show, so you got to do it. Let's go, Mets! Let's go, Mets! Come on, Naya!
I'm a Yankees fan. I can't partake. But,
it's okay. She understands and loves our sponsors, so it's okay. Special shout out to Executive Bar and Restaurant, located in 30 Menu Street, Carteret, New Jersey. And then also shout out to 91s.com with Cody Bromley, best acid wash apparel in the game. I actually shot my highest set ever this past Tuesday, 724. I telling my dad I'm a BMF, baby. I'm a bad mother, you know what? So I'm just trying to say, if I make my 10 pins, you might not want to bowl me. I'm just saying. But I'm just trying to learn from all of my friends out there, my bowling fans. So thank you so much. I'm going to continue. I feel mentally recharged. Thank you for everybody out there for tuning in. I promise you, every week, you're going to have an episode of the Talk That Talk show. I'm going to try and have cool people like Nye Beans on there yet again. And thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all, and I'll see you next week. All right? Peace.